When you're looking at a snow removal contract, it's so easy to just zero in on the price tag, isn't it? But what if I told you it's so much more than that? It's actually a huge strategic choice, one that pits just reacting to a storm against proactively managing your entire winter risk. So, to kind of get our heads in the right space for this, let me just ask you something. When does your responsibility for winter safety really kick in? Is it when you see that first snowflake floating down? Or maybe when the snow starts to pile up? You might be surprised to hear this, but the answer starts right here, with the forecast. You see, real winter management isn't about scrambling after the snow is already on the ground. It's about having a smart strategy in place long before that storm even forms.
And that right there is why picking your snow contract is, honestly, a way bigger deal than most people think. You're not just hiring a truck with a plow on it, you are making a fundamental decision between a reactive service and a proactive partnership.
All right, so let's jump in and break down the two main players in the game when it comes to snow and ice management.
First up, you've got the per-push contract. Think of this as your classic pay-as-you-go plan. You and your contractor agree on what's called a trigger depth. Let's say it's 2 inches of snow. As soon as the accumulation hits that 2-inch mark, boom, a plow shows up. You get a bill for that one push, and that's that. Seems simple enough.
Now, the appeal here is pretty obvious, right? If you get a super mild winter, you could save a ton of money because you're only paying for work that actually happens. But, and this is a big but, it is a huge gamble. If Mother Nature decides to throw a heavy winter at you, your costs can just skyrocket. And what's worse, during a really big storm, guess who's at the back of the line? You are. The contractor's going to take care of their seasonal clients first.
Okay, so what's the alternative? That would be the seasonal contract. And this is a completely different animal. You pay one single fixed fee for the whole winter season. It doesn't matter if it snows twice or 20 times, it's less like hiring a service and more like putting a winter safety partner on retainer.
The biggest pro here, no question, it's complete budget predictability. You know exactly what you're spending from day one, end of story. Plus, you're top of the priority list, guaranteed. The flip side, of course, is that if it barely snows all winter, well, you're still paying that full price. It can definitely feel a little like you paid for an insurance policy you never ended up using.
So, let's put these two head to head. How do they really stack up when you look at the factors that matter the most?
This table really lays it all out, doesn't it? You can see that core trade-off immediately. With per-push, you're embracing those variable costs for a service that's, well, reactive. With seasonal, you're paying a fixed price for a proactive all-in partnership. But look at that scope of services row. That's a huge one. Per-push is often just about the plow. Seasonal, that's the whole shebang, snow and ice. And this chart, man, this really shows you the financial gamble we're talking about. Look at those per-push bars. Yeah, in a mild winter, you're saving some cash. But look what happens when a severe winter hits. Your costs can just explode. You could wipe out years of those savings in a single season. And the seasonal contract, it's just that steady, predictable flat line. No surprises.
Okay, but here's where we need to dig a little deeper. Because if you're only focused on the cost of moving snow around, you are missing the biggest part of the picture. The real conversation, the one that truly matters for your business or your property, goes way beyond the shovel. Because the biggest threat out there is often the one you can't even see.
This quote just nails it. The real danger isn't the foot of snow you can see piling up, it's the slick of ice you can't. And this right here is where that difference between a reactive service and a proactive partnership becomes absolutely critical.
So this brings us to a really important concept. And honestly, it's one of the biggest risks you take with a per-push contract. It's called the liability gap. What is that? Well, to put it simply, it's that terrifying window of time where your property is a flat-out danger zone, but your snow contract hasn't even kicked in yet.
So here's how this plays out all the time. Imagine this. The sun's out during the day, melts some snow, your pavement gets wet. Then, overnight, the temperature just plummets. What happens? That wet pavement turns into a sheet of black ice, which is basically invisible. But because no new snow fell, that 2-inch trigger you set, it's never met. The plow never comes, and then someone slips, falls, and gets hurt. That liability? It's all on you. A seasonal contract is specifically designed to close this gap. It's about managing the site, not just reacting to snowfall.
So, after all that, what's the right call? The truth is, there's no magic answer, no one-size-fits-all contract. The best choice always comes down to one thing: matching the contract to what your property actually needs, and, just as important, what your own tolerance for risk looks like.
Okay, so if you're a commercial property manager, we're talking a hospital, a busy shopping center, a big HOA, for you, a seasonal contract is pretty much always the way to go. You have to think of it not as an expense, but as an investment in risk management. You're guaranteeing that your property stays safe, accessible, and open for business 24/7.
Now, what if you're a small business owner? Maybe you don't have a ton of foot traffic. I get it. That per-push contract and its financial flexibility can look really, really good. The key here, though, is you have to go in with your eyes wide open. You have to understand and accept the risks you're taking on, both that liability gap we talked about and the very real possibility of a winter that just blows your budget to pieces.
And what about for a luxury homeowner? Well, this one really boils down to two things: convenience and total peace of mind. With a seasonal contract, your property is just taken care of. It's proactively managed all winter long, protecting your home, your driveway, your walkways, without you ever having to make a single call or even think about it.
So, at the end of the day, it all comes down to this one simple question. How do you view your snow contract? Is it just another line item expense you're trying to keep as low as possible? Or is it a critical investment in safety, in keeping things running, and ultimately, in your own peace of mind? The answer to that? Well, that's going to define your entire winter.